This is the journal of Dr. Jonathan Crane. My work has been hindered as of late due to my nomadic activities across Gotham. It has been quite difficult to maintain a steady hand on my experiments when I am being relentlessly pursued by Gordon's army and the Batman and his allies. But that will all change soon. I have come into contact with a man who will offer me the exact ingredient I will need to perfect my fear toxin once and for all. Though he insisted that his identity remain ambiguous. He allowed me to look upon the name of the substance he had delivered to me. He called the chemical Lazarus. The name alone stirred something truly sadistic and, dare I say, sacrilegious in me. The vital element necessary to finalize my fear gas to the point of invincibility, named after a character from the Bible. Life is full of wonderful oxymorons. Like Lazarus himself, I will rise from the pit of defeat and humiliation inflicted by the Batman. And whereas Lazarus rose to demonstrate the power of God, I will do the same to proclaim my godhood. Because once I mass produce this perfected fear gas, there will be no cure, no antidote, no way to stop it. And then all of Gotham will bow to me and worship me as their god. All those who defy me will be torn to pieces by the phantoms of their worst nightmares. I will have Batman at my feet, maskless, broken by his mental anguish, scarred by the corpses of his fallen comrades. He will beg me to snuff out his worthless life. But I will not grant him such liberty until all of his most repulsive terrors are made real. The Scarecrow will live again! My meeting with my contact and his escorts went very well. He provided me with a precisely outfitted laboratory located in a very indefinite location. I could not provide the address of the place even if I wanted to, since my eyes were sealed shut on the journey up here. It was as if I had my old setup. I had all the ingredients, the files, the pots, the mixers, and to top it all off, there was an underground room which housed a marvelous pool filled with the Lazarus chemical. He told me that it was a naturally occurring phenomenon in the specific location I was in. I could craft thousands of specific phobia-inducing chemicals with the resources that this place has. But I have to stay focused. My contact is a powerful man who runs a highly influential organization of soldiers and mercenaries. He was more than willing to supply me with hundreds of test subjects who had displeased him. I now possess more than enough guinea pigs to strengthen my formula to its sharpest edge. Oh, how I look forward to their screams of terror and anguish over the next plethora of days. The first of my subjects were a group of large, muscular, and overall very physically strong men, whom I placed in a small cage with a small, frail, vulnerable-looking fellow. The very purpose of this experiment was to find a balance in the formula that would trigger a human being to a adopt superhuman strength and ferocity when threatened by larger, more physically imposing foes. It was always said that when humans are pressured into life or death situations like this, that they revert back to their savage origins and become nearly unstoppable beasts. This was the first of many impulses I wanted to have at my disposal when administering this chemical. I applied a shroud of gas with about 36% of the Lazarus compound mixed in with the traditional ingredients. The results were truly fantastic. In only 8 minutes' time, the smaller man had viciously murdered the 3 other men who were in the cage with him. While I did not see the fight myself, I can say that one of the men had its whole left ear and about 2 inches of flesh attached to it, completely torn off. It was being chewed on in the smaller one's mouth. Another one died of severe hemorrhaging, for which the most likely cause of death was having his head smashed into the ground enough times. That one had very little bleeding, however. The third one was also somewhat subtle, but effective. Apparently, this one had broken about 4 ribs on both sides. He had punctured eyeballs and a snapped neck. The culprit was crouched in the corner eating the ear of the first man, with his entire forearm soaked in blood. From what I could see, there wasn't any serious bruising. But it was a thing of beauty. The power at my command was truly awesome. I now know how it feels to be God. This first test was a great success. And I truly believe, with the right controlled mixtures and equation practice, this new fear chemical of mine will allow me to access any part of the human consciousness that appeals the most to me. From the boring, everyday habits to the animal, Neanderthal instincts suppressed and bottled through thousands of years of civilization. I shall record further journals if anything more of real interest occurs. Until then, I am signing out.